Welcome to NoteWorthy, a podcast by the young people of Banyule about the great things they're doing in our community. Brought to you by Banyule Youth Services. Our current series is focusing on the stories, passions and wisdom of local young people, and today we're hearing from Liz, aka Love Clawra.
Hi, I'm Liz and this is my story. It started when I was in year 8, so I was about 13 at the time. One of my close friends came out as pansexual and it caused me to have an interest in the kind of spectrum of sexuality because before that, the only thing I really knew was lesbian and gay. So it caused me to kind of explore that. It affected me because in my mind, I was just like, I can only like boys or I can only like girls. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like boys and that's how I am. And then I kind of explored and realised that I also liked girls and wanted to date girls. It was quite scary at the time because this was also new to me and I didn't know that it was okay. I kind of realised that I was bisexual, so I came out to all my friends. Then the year later, I came out to my mum after an LGBT event that I went to through Rainbow Space. Rainbow Space is a group run by Banyule for LGBT kids aged 14 to 25, and it's just a good place to kind of talk to other people who are part of the LGBT community and have just conversations about stuff that matters. They were handing flyers out for the summer holidays at my school, and me and my friends saw a movie night that we wanted to go to because we really liked the movie, and we saw that it was Rainbow Space and we thought that that was really cool because it was an LGBT group. So we went along and it was so much fun just being there because there were other people who were LGBT. It was a really different environment and everyone was so relaxed and nice. It was just really a warm and welcoming space. It was really amazing for me because it was just like I didn't realize it was such a big community, and it just made me feel so included and like I wasn't alone, and there were other people who knew what I was going through. It definitely helped because I saw all these people who were not afraid to be themselves in this environment, and I'm just like, I can't be scared to be myself. And I know my mum loves me no matter what, so I don't think this is going to change how she feels about me. With family, it was a little bit harder and it took a bit more time trying to get that courage and say the words. But then I kind of got the courage just to say, Mum, this is who I am. And she was super supportive and most of my family was super supportive. I was kind of scared, but it was also like, if I can do this, I'm brave because this is hard to do. Growing up in a very heterosexual world, young people like myself, being like gay or LGBT, it can be hard. So having groups like this is super good because it's how I express myself. I go to these meetings and I get to be myself. I don't have to hide behind anything. And it's really freeing and relaxing. I didn't really see gay characters in TV shows. Everything I would watch as a kid was heterosexual couples, heterosexual people. The media is very heterosexual. You don't get as much LGBT influence in modern day media. Society has a lot of pressure on who people become because you're either kind of hit with you can only be this one thing, or even if you are these other things, it's kind of wrong. So, and sexuality is very fluid. Like there are definitely people, like I've seen stories of people who are in their 40s and realizing that they're transgender or realizing that they're arrow or A. And it's something that can change over time. In society, it's kind of like they want everyone to fit into this box of this is who you need to be. Anything else is not okay. And that's what you see in the media. It's just like you see like a lot of blondes, skinny blondes who are in heterosexual relationships, and you see like that is the standard when it's so much different than that. It's okay to be who you are, and change, it may happen, it may not, but being who you are is so okay. I was in a lot of relationships with guys, but I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel right. And it's just seeing relationships in the media between girls and people like Ruby Rose, and seeing like kind of them in the Batwoman TV show that was released and having that LGBT superhero, kind of went, okay, I can look up to them because they feel the same way that I do. So it made it kind of easier to be who I am. It helped me kind of figure out that maybe I don't have feelings for guys and that maybe I just only like girls. So it was hard, but I felt more free when I kind of came to that realization. My mum had just gotten the streaming service Stan, and I saw this show, RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'd heard of RuPaul before, and I knew that he was really big in the gay community. So I put on the first episode, and I just saw this art form that was so beautiful. The transformation was amazing. And they had the confidence to walk around in drag and say, this is who I am. And it felt so empowering that they could do this. I found this great love for this art form. It made me feel so empowered and strong because they're living their best life. They're being who they want to be. And it made me feel like I can do that too. The UK Drag Race was released last year. And one of the queens, who was actually the youngest queen to ever compete on Drag Race history, and also the first bisexual queen, they said, I actually have a girlfriend. And they're just like, everyone reacted really strangely to that because that's not something that's ever been really said on the show. And then they said, she's super supportive of this because she's also a drag queen. And they said, bio queen. And that made me think, what's a bio queen? So I got really into it and I was researching all these different things about bio queens, and it was so amazing to see that women were able to do this art form. A bio queen is a female who does drag. I felt so amazed because this art form that I have appreciated for so long but felt like I couldn't do it, I found out I can do it. I can be part of this community. And it was so amazing and liberating that I could finally do something that I love. I started doing drag, doing the transformation, the hair with the wigs and the makeup, and kind of just creating this persona who was just free. It was so liberating and so amazing to be able to just be that person. I already had a lot of makeup because I've been practicing playing with makeup since I was 6 years old. So I collected a lot of makeup and I watched kind of tutorials of other drag queens on YouTube. So I kind of learned how to glue down my eyebrows and kind of accentuate my features. I don't really have many wigs per se. So I kind of use this one wig and just kind of try and style it different ways to kind of create different looks. I want to be able to perform in clubs, being there in the community. Because of COVID and everything, I can't really perform and everything because I didn't really start drag till earlier this year. So I started a TikTok account and it's Love Clawra, LOVE-CLAWRA. If you go to my TikTok account, you will see me doing transitions into drag or just different makeup looks in general and doing lip syncing. I definitely would love to connect with other people who are interested in the art of drag. It's something I love doing. I love talking to people about it, explaining it to people. It's the fact that these people, they're changing everything. They're changing the shape of their body. They change the face shape even, different hair. It's just so many different things that they change. And they kind of mold their body with padding and tucking, and it's so amazing that it just turns into this beautiful person that just makes you just want to be them in a way. I always am drawn in drag to a lot of the bigger queens because I feel like I relate to them more as I am a bit more of a bigger girl. They do what they love and they're not afraid to kind of wear things that big girls shouldn't normally wear. They're not afraid to wear bodysuits or short dresses. They kind of say, I'm going to wear this and you can't say anything to me. And it's so amazing how strong they can be doing this. Be who you want to be. And if your sexuality changes, don't let that stop you from being free. Don't let that contain you and trap you. It's really good to have support, at least having one person, even if it's just one single person who is in your corner, because you know that they will be there. Even if you change everything, they will be there to support you. Having just one person can make everything so much easier because you know that they're there, they love you, and they support you. It's not always going to be easy. It can definitely be hard, but As long as you believe in who you are and know that no matter what, you're okay with who you are, it can just make it that little bit of easier knowing that you know it's okay. So then even if these people don't accept you, you can say, I know I'm okay. I know that who I am is acceptable. Just kind of having that strength and believing in yourself can definitely make a big difference in it. I feel like sharing my story is really good because there are people out there that they're going to struggle to find stories like this. And everyone's story is so different. So I wanted to put my story out there so people could know that this is something that you can be and that being yourself is so okay. But I know that COVID has affected a lot of LGBT people around the world because I know there are a lot of people who are still in the closet to their families and they're having to kind of hide who they am because they're kind of stuck with their family and they can't be themselves. It's a really hard time for a lot of us, especially with those who rely so much on Pride Month and not being kind of able to go and do that community. It can be really hard for a lot of people, but the support that the online community has had has been so amazing for everyone. I would recommend looking at a lot of kind of LGBT pages on social medias because they can be so supportive. I know quite a few that you can just inbox and they've messaged me back and said you were okay. And they kind of post content that makes you feel accepted. So one of them is LGBT Activists. They're an Instagram account. They're really great. They post a lot of things. It's just like, put this emoji depending on how you feel. And if you say put a really low emoji, they will message you and check in and make sure you are okay. Go onto the Facebook for Banyul or type in Rainbow Space Banyul. And also look on the Banyul Youth website and you can also find them on there, find out when they've got meetings and get in contact with the youth worker that runs it. I'm Liz, and this was my story. And remember, love yourself. It's the most important thing.
Thank you, Liz. You've been listening to Noteworthy, a Banyul Youth podcast.